What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Ken Ross Present, the Get I Said It podcast. We're expressing what our full capabilities. Today, my one in correctional facilities, brainchild of my child. I am the dad half of this operation coming to you live and in public, if you will. Interesting, I borrowed that from Dusty Rose because I was watching the LOD origin story last night. But anywho, um, as always, I am rocking with the best. My co-host, please introduce yourself to the folks.
Laugh now, cry later, but your time will come. Yeah, what's good, everybody? But having a good day, month, year, hour, second, all that good stuff. You watching other platforms, please share with your friends, your family, your pets, bug on the wall, aliens outside, you know, man. Nukes is about to drop on your head, all that. And if you watching on the tube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, because if you don't, you have a roach infestation in your house.
That's amongst the long list of everything to concern ourselves with. I never understood this. So many years ago when I was in school, it was said that hey, the only thing left after nuclear war would be roaches. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Everything's going to get vaporized. Well, I was wrong. Apparently, cockroaches can withstand something like 10 to 20 times more radiation than we can. So whatever doesn't get vaporized might mutate.
Giant roaches.
Right. So I'm like, on top of everything else we'd have to deal with, having nuclear fallout, now we got mutant roaches.
I mean, we'll all be dead, so it won't even matter.
No, we won't. That's the problem. No, we won't.
Yes, if it's a nuclear war, they've already ran simulations. I'm not saying if one or two nukes. If it's a nuclear war, that means everyone is launching their arsenal. The world will end because
I mean,
it will cool the planet by 10 degrees. That means that I know that doesn't sound like a lot,
right.
but
I'm
that
like,
is a
help me out.
that
Help me out.
in for about 10 or more degrees. In that terms, and plus it'll be drought, so we won't have any rain. Probably ever or for a long time, which means no crops, no food, people will starve out. Not to mention all the radiation will pretty much wipe everyone else out. And so yeah, you're either gonna die from starvation or the radiation.
I
Pick your
see,
poison.
see,
Or the climate. Pick your poison. Literally.
or mutant roaches.
I'll take my chance with a mutant roach, but
Nah, B, that's not no, absolutely not. I'm not no, just look, if it's got to go down, just put me to the blast radius so we could be over in a heartbeat. Because trying to survive such a thing would be like that's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
this is like I said, whoever launches the first missile, which is looking more and more likely.
Nah.
All it takes is one, and France is not playing. Russia definitely ain't playing. We'll
But
see.
here's the thing with that though. And by the way, listeners and viewers, this is going to be a different pod than what we usually do. We are kind of just kicking it right now. We are expecting a guest. I hope he can join us because that leads to a very interesting conversation. We'll bring it back, one of our favorites. But in the interim, this is an informal. We're just going to kick it off the top of the dome, and this is how we kick it off the top of the dome. Um, if there is any upside to the Mango Menace in charge right now, is the threat from Russia is greatly reduced because he is pretty much their cuckold. So,
Not about it. It's not about U.S. versus Russia anymore. It's about
what
Russia versus Europe.
I mean,
That's a problem. Because Europe
it's a
had
problem because if quietly the U.S. and Russia is cool, then the enemy of my friend is my enemy. So now you can't really have which puts Ukraine in a very interesting position. But you can't have beef with Russia without kind of de facto having beef with the US.
not really. I don't. I think you're over exaggerating the cool, but I think we just cool. I don't think we consider them an ally still. And and that's cool. Even if we are cool, Ukraine is still aligned with or trying to be aligned with NATO. They also have a nuclear arsenal too. Not as much as Russia and us, obviously.
Actually, no. Remember, that was part of the conditions. They had the third largest nuclear stockpile, and they had to give that up under the condition the U.S. had a back.
Cool. Ukraine?
Yes, I didn't. I did a little digging.
I'm talking about,
I didn't
I'm
realize
talking about,
this.
I'm talking about NATO. Because most of their nukes come from us too, because we're in NATO. If we
Okay.
withdraw, most of their nuclear stock is cooked. So, like obviously, the U.S. has the most and the most dangerous and versatile set of nukes, which is why we're a superpower. Because you spend almost $1 trillion a year on military, but
800 billion. Yeah.
900 billion. But I
What's an
mean,
extra 100 billion? My bad. You're right.
to me, that's
What's an
a
extra
lot.
100?
But to them, that's nothing.
What's 100 billion amongst friends? No biggie.
Hey, I think 100 billion just mysteriously went missing and came in my bank account, wouldn't be upset. But yeah,
Salute.
actually, I probably would be upset. But um, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, like I said, I think out of the whole all of NATO, I think France and either England have the most stockpile, and even theirs is like a fraction of ours and Russia,
I didn't know England had dukes, but okay.
barely. I know France does.
Also, like France, you see, and again, the American propaganda machine makes you think France is soft. So when we start talking, getting down to it, you like, it's France. It's whatever. They got French food and French fries, whatever. But it only takes one. It only takes one nuke. And what up, sir? I saw that you hopped on in. Good to have you. Good to have you. We are just really conversing off the top of the dome. And somehow we landed on nuclear war.
You be so
Oh,
you
okay.
stuck on it.
Okay. I mean, it's only about 6 months away. So,
See,
Oh,
see,
we might as well talk about it now. So we'll be
see,
ready by the summer.
I have killer mutated cockroaches for everybody that's left. Yep.
Thank you. That's how we got here. So, as always, there's a penalty for not listening, liking, and subscribing. And this cat came to the notion of you might have a roach infestation, which led me down the tube of, you know, I never understood why they said after nuclear war, roaches would still be here. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. They'd be vaporized. And somewhere I read, and this is this random Google stuff, um, cockroaches can withstand, I think, somewhere you like 10 or 100 times more radiation than us. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, so if there is nuclear war on top of everything that is not vaporized, you now have mutated roaches to deal with. Great.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can microwave a roach and it does nothing.
I,
I mean, they are hard to kill unless you stop on them. So yeah.
Yeah. That's a fact.
I'm concerned because one, I never do that. And now, oh my gosh.
Put some roach in the microwave.
You
So
don't. You leave a microwave. See, okay, so now hood shit. You leave the microwave cracked by accident, and one ends up in there, and you don't realize it.
Oh, I figured out. I'm just saying. I know somebody tried to do that. I just want to know who it was. Somebody
You,
figured that out. You don't just figure that out by accident.
you absolutely figured that out.
Somebody tried it.
I agree. I'm sure there's a kid in the hood that purposely tried to fry a roach.
I know somebody did it.
I can't even.
Hey, you seen them kids back in the day with the what's the thing? The little mirror thing. What I forgot. Magnifying glass, whatever. And then the
Oh
sun
yeah.
try to burn them and stuff. So I'm sure somebody put a roach in the microwave. I know they did.
I have no.
So Ross, so And for you, just for you, I wore my favorite hoodie. It's the
Okay.
South has something to say.
Yeah, they got booed for that. Like, yeah,
After they got booed after winning Best New Artist. Let's be very clear.
agreed. All right, so okay, so let's get to it. So we are running this back because
This
we've had
is
this long-standing debate
part two.
of of hip hop, North versus South, and I'm like, my inherent issue has always been there is a standard to what good hip hop is. That standard, whether folks want to ride with it or not, is in fact a standard set by the world's greatest city in the glorious Empire State. When you talk about what is dope, it starts there.
Because it
Now,
started there. But they haven't upheld that in the last 20 years.
At least.
I'm sorry. Whoa,
Because every
whoa.
name you're going to name is about your age or young or older. You can't name a new artist now that holds that standard. I can name plenty of artists from the South now that holds that standard.
No, you can't. You can name like six.
One that's playing, but I can name more, but go ahead.
Okay, so there's definitely more than six.
There's more than six,
But
but yeah.
if
Do
we're
you name
talking
six beyond?
about who's continuing this like tradition of lyricism, right? That New York has set. That's fine, right? Shouts out to Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and KRS and everyone. They're all AARP members. We respect them. We love them dearly. You know what I mean? They need like an old folks home for just hip hop heads. You know what I mean? So they can just all be in ciphers together right before they, the nurse come handing their pills.
Okay. So Rakim just had a project drop, I do believe, last year.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
There's Rakim actually maintaining that. If you check the mixtape circuit, Jadakiss is still active. Um,
Name a
I feel like
gen.
you're making Kane's point.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
not stop naming boomers and the I'm not gonna
did
say
you
crack
really just
baby
say
Eric,
boomer,
but
sir?
I think you're
name
right. That might
some
be silent generation. That might be the generation before boomers.
name a Gen Z or a millennial rapper that hold that standard. You can't. Because you're going every name I just said, every name you're going to go to is for when I was listening to as a kid, when you was listening to as a kid. No, they haven't upheld that standard for the last 20 to 30 years.
You gotta think the rappers that's come out of New York right now. You're talking like mainstream. I'm just talking about like mainstream artists, right? So like we're talking Fabio, Ice Spice.
Pop Smoke.
Oh, Pop, yeah, Pop came as out of New York. Who else is
Scarlet.
like who?
Scarlet. I don't know if she's main.
Oh, Scarlet. I mean, that's kind of mainstream. Who else has come out of New York in the last 10 years? This is what
Really just
2025. I mean, you got Nicki, even though her, she doesn't have a great reputation right now, but lyricism wise, you gotta respect it.
So Nicki, because you got a lot of trash. 6ix9ine, mumble rappers.
no. You're not. No. We're not gonna do that.
What do you
We're
mean
so
not? Is
not.
6ix9ine not a rapper?
No, he's a plant. He's Vanilla Ice. Stop.
All right,
Stop.
so what about all these drill New York rappers?
I mean, drill is a Chicago thing, so that
Drill
ain't
is
got.
It is, but New York took, kind of bit off it. So yeah.
I mean, I was listen. I was never on the Pop Smoke train, really. Like when you talk New York, anything quote unquote drill New York, that was kind of pioneered by Pop Smoke, and I was really never on the Pop Smoke train. Like some of it hits. Like Invincible was my joint. Invincible make you want to go run as fast as you can or lift as much as you can. But honestly, the Pop Smoke
can
train.
can he rap? Can he rap?
Not to that standard. Don't lie.
No, like
Because
again,
he's a watered down 50 Cent. If we keep it a buck, You know what I mean? Recipes of
Yikes.
Pop Smoke. Recipes of Pop Smoke, but I'm gonna call it like I see it. He's a watered down 50 Cent, and 50 Cent's not a good lyricist either.
No, not at all. I had an unpopular opinion. You can honestly probably make an argument at this point today.
Whoa.
Jim Jones is a better rapper than 50.
Well, today maybe, but in his prime, mixtape, and when we first came, he got some. I'm not saying he's the ultra lyricist, but he can rap.
Here's the thing: 50 Cent found a way to have a great delivery over dope beats, and gave us the content, that gritty New York content that people loved from New York. Was he a great lyricist? He's not, and he's never been a great lyricist.
I think he's just a good rapper. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's a great lyricist. I think he's a good rapper.
50.
Oh, bingo. Young M.A. Thank you. BK all day.
Young M.A. is a good rapper. Yes. Man, you really had to
Big.
you had to sit with that one for a while. You had to sit with that one for a minute. Yeah, Young M.A. can spit. I actually wish they had more mainstream stuff out.
Yeah. And I mean, Dave East.
Who?
I know cats be hit or miss, but Dave got bars.
Dave East is dope. Joey Badass is dope.
It's been hard for me to listen to
none
Joey.
of them are consistent.
It's been hard for me to listen to Joey ever since the actual Joe Budden kind of bodied him on the Control remix.
Oh, damn.
Because he just said there's only one Joey the Badass, really? That
Exactly. Exactly.
One line. It wasn't even that crazy.
I mean, you can get it done in one line. Ask Kwame. Kwame's whole career
But
got
that
bodied
line
in
ain't the
one
crazy.
line.
It's only one Joey the Bad. Like that's not a career ending one line. It's not.
Like I said, Kwame had his whole career ended. Shit played out like Kwame and the Polka Dots. So yeah, Biggie ended him in one line.
Yeah, but
It
that
happens.
was a harder hitting
Yeah,
line.
but we won't. In fairness, we won't really check up with Kwame by that time. We won't. Were we really checking? Were you really about to go cop that new Kwame? And here's my thing. So he makes a good point about there not being any great New York rappers since the 2010s. And there haven't been. There's not a long list. There's a handful at best, right? Respectfully. And so when we start talking about New York sets the standard, we're only really talking about 1993 to 04.
Yep.
So
That's it.
great 10-year run, not taking anything away from that. But also, we gassed up a few MCs. So you gonna tell me Q-Tip's a great lyricist?
No.
You gonna tell me Tribe Called Quest? Even rest in peace to Fife. Love Fife. Love Tribe. But are they great lyricists?
No. Another borderline blasphemous New York ideal. Product of the times, first to do it, kick the doors down. The level of ridiculous simplicity of Run DMC is yeah. What? And see, the problem with that is they did it at the same time Rakim did. So it's between Ra and Run DMC, y'all went Run DMC.
Well, in fairness, Run DMC is the gold standard by the time 86 rolls around.
Okay.
Right? So their start really happens in 82, something like that. I mean, a very young LL and Run DMC kind of come into the game somewhere about the same time. Rakim, makes his debut in 86, to quote the line.
Exactly.
And shifts, and him and BDK kind of shift the sound of New York rap. So I taking nothing away from what New York has contributed, but they don't set the standard anymore. That's just the reality of it.
I mean, I guess my question would, because my inherent issue always with this conversation is if we go from what Juvie said, taking over for the 9-9, okay, well, let's do that. Let's go 99 and now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lil Wayne had the craziest run that any MC has ever had, probably to date, between mixtapes and albums.
Did he?
Yeah, that 2000 and 2010s run.
Oh man,
Crazy.
mixtape Wayne
Yeah, that's crazy.
was all over the streets. Was all over the streets.
He
The
was.
Carter is a classic. I would probably argue the Carter 2 is also a classic. It gets a little iffy after that.
Yeah.
But you know, Wayne had probably one of the best runs. And then this is not even that's mixtape Wayne is legendary. Has a great album run. And then Wayne on features, sheesh. Come on, fam.
Okay.
Or if he
Okay.
did your beat, which is on the mixtapes, yeah, he killed your song. It was his song.
It was his song. It was
Okay,
his song after
see,
that.
He was before Joyner.
the problem we have here is he in the conversation? Sure. So now when we take complete body of work, the problem we're gonna bump into with Wheezy, wobbly wobbly. Dog, you was wobbly wobbly. We got some whack Wayne early.
Do we not
We-
have some whack James, some whack Nas, some whack?
I'm sorry,
We do.
debut album Reasonable Doubt. What are you saying?
So Jay
Ooh,
never released a whack album.
no, I'm not saying he never released a whack album because that double album is still kind of
What about a Blueprint 3? You like that?
wavy hand.
I think it was whack, but
Ah man, Kingdom Come was not great, man.
he got
Kingdom
some
Come was
misses.
as
Nas
a
definitely
fan.
got some misses. And I
Oh,
love
Nas has plenty of misses.
him. And I love him, but he got a lot
Hey,
of misses.
Nas double album. You should have. Uh,
Jay actually broke down all the Nas misses in the songs. It's, it's a
He
hot
did.
album every 4 year average. Come on, fam. It's-
Hey, he gets a pass because he released The Godfather 1 and 2 out his debut. So he gets a pass for me, no matter what.
yeah, because you don't find a 1-2 punch like Illmatic is arguably the greatest rap album ever made,
So as it was written. So yeah.
and that's a hell of an argument to have. Because I'm like,
The Godfather 1 and 2 argument. You released
true.
two back-to-back classics that no one knows which one is better.
Right. But where and the only honestly the only people I think in this case the South does have something to say. Illmatic, it was written. Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music, AT Aliens. That's a discussion. That is absolutely a discussion.
I will argue that 3 album run is a classic, respectfully. Southern Playalistic was a great debut album. I feel like it shifted the culture in the South. Really, you know what I mean? Like, and then AT Aliens was phenomenal. For me, that's a press play. I don't have no skips on that album, but I'm trying to be biased, but AT Aliens is one of my favorite albums. And I will also argue that Aquemini that comes right after that is still a very solid album.
I can't dispute that. Because if you say who's got a 3 album run like that, I don't know. Because I forgot what comes after it was written, but it ain't that.
It might be Kendrick.
Oh, the West Coast.
Good Kid,
The West Coast is in on the
Section
chat.
80. What's that 3 album run? Section 80. Good
Or you
Kid.
could do Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn, or you could do Good Kid, Damn, and Mr. Morale.
And that's the other conversation. I don't know if we want to touch that, but that's the other conversation you and I talked about, Kane. We really might need to talk about, look, when you talk about complete body of work, influence on culture, so on and so forth, lyricism, everything else, I think Kendrick may have entered the GOAT conversation right next to or possibly above Jay. It hurts to say that.
Why does it hurt? Why are you hating on the West, man?
I'm not hating on the West. It's Jay, sir. And I ain't gonna shut up in a whole bunch of lines. I said be animated like say Buster Rhymes. It's the real shit you get when I bust down my lines. Times that by the fact I went plat a bunch of times. Add that to my influence on pop culture. I'm supposed to be number 1 on everybody's list. How is that disputable? Because Eminem doesn't. M is the one person with something to say to that, but M doesn't have the body of work. The only other person that can actually speak to that point, if that is the metric, is Kendrick.
Also, I don't feel like Eminem shifted the culture. I think Eminem was like this sensationalistic kind of thing, right? It was this kind of outlier that we all loved for a while, but Eminem's sound didn't shift the culture, right? If Eminem made a move, that didn't cause like other parts of hip hop to move. You know what I mean? It
Well,
just it
I think for white rappers it did. I
I mean,
think
I think for white people it did. I think it gave white people. I think it gave white people. I did. I think it gave white people like a real voice, like a real voice in hip
Yeah.
hop that wasn't that didn't feel like it was like a vulture. He wasn't a vulture. You knew that Eminem truly loved everything
Yeah.
about the culture, everything about hip hop. Never tried to take anything away from it. Never tried to be something that he wasn't. And so he maintained this like authentic voice and
Mhm.
gave us a different voice in hip hop. So I think for that reason alone, he'll always be, an icon. But did he shift the culture the way Jay shifted the culture? Probably not.
I was like, that's another one too. Uh, Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP. If
Eminem show.
nothing else, that woof woof that back to back right there. Yeah, those are monsters. Those are
And,
monsters.
and even though we are gonna have to throw his entire catalog away, but Kanye drops
Oh
is college.
yeah,
Listen, college dropout, late registration, and then oh damn, what's the album right after that? But it's a great 3 album run.
really? I see. I was College Dropout was great, thematic, everything else. Late Registration was to me. It didn't live up to College Dropout. It was like
Oh
it
man,
was,
I
it
thought
was really good.
oh
It just wasn't.
graduation was the third one, and I
Right.
mean I think that especially in succession and like who's releasing I mean who else was releasing concept albums at that point? You know what I mean? Like particularly
Well,
concept albums that followed each other.
oh, okay. Because I'm gonna say Will Smith to me has got one of the greatest concept albums ever. Again, shout out to the South. Little Brother's The Minstrel Show,
Mm.
severely slept on. That is all. That was my little brother entry point. Yes, yes. Carolina. See, the interesting part about the South is, when you talk about the North, is pretty much New York, Philly, Jersey. The South is Virginia all the way down. And to me, VA has a very good argument as possibly the second best region. Sorry to Philly, I am sorry to Jersey, but when you look at what's come from VA, it is hard to me. It is hard to make an argument that after New York, it's not VA.
how's it not
Looking
Jersey?
for, I'm sorry,
How's it not Jersey? Or the
because
West?
Pharrell, Timberland, Clips, Missy. From a production innovation standpoint, rhyme standpoint, what sonically, what are you putting against Timberland and Pharrell?
So I will say that sonically, like Virginia has probably given us some of the best hip hop
Producer.
producers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Virginia has definitely given us some of the best hip hop producers. Timbaland, Pharrell, Missy, and people don't know that D'Angelo does a lot of production and does a lot of shit on the back end. But we're not. It's a whole nother discussion. But
Oh,
um, but yeah, but like lots of producers, lyricists. I mean, there's the clips. I'll throw Missy in that ring. But Timberland, Timberland and Magoo, oh
oh
Lord,
yeah, no, no,
oh man,
no,
it was so
no,
bad,
Stick to
no.
produce it. I'm sorry.
yo.
Oh,
And I was such a fan when I was a kid, just because they were from Virginia.
yeah.
But lyrically, it was so bad.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Timberland and McAnoo, like it was horrible.
Yeah,
But when you got the clips, that grinding beat is still classic. If you're as old as I am, everybody that was the lunch table beat.
It
That
still
was the
was.
lunch table
It was
beat.
much they be for me. Everybody did.
Wow, that's saying something.
yeah, because it lived on, like it lived on for a very long time.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you hear that now in commercials and everything else. Yeah, that joint is amazing. And Timberland, just the genius of it. Like, who samples? I know it's not hip hop, but who samples Mario Brothers? Like, I couldn't have been the only person who caught the Super Mario Brothers sample in Pony. Like, are you serious right now, dog? You sample Mario Brothers?
That's what that sample is in Pony?
If you listen to if you listen to the Pony beat, those are Super Mario Brothers effects in it.
Oh snap!
Right.
I didn't even know that.
I'm like, who samples Mario Brothers, and then two, who does it and it's dope.
Right.
A genius.
And then that one in the 1 in a million beat, I have that probably top 10 all time.
Oh yeah, that beat is solid.
That 1 in a million beat is top again, not even hip hop, but that 1 in a million beat is top 10 all time. Like, yeah. You can't you as soon as you hear them drums coming on 1 in a million, you're gonna listen to the whole song. You're gonna listen to the whole song no matter what. So yeah, I think just because of what's happened, I think VA is probably, and I get it. Jersey's gonna be pissed off at me.
So Cali is now.
I mean, the
I don't
Cali
know, man. If we're
soundscape
talking
is
about like
pretty much.
other states, if we're talking about other states who have given us a lot outside of New York, like Cali's got to be in that
I have to
conversation.
say, Dre.
Cali has to be in. Cali and Georgia, like, have to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
Way before Virginia. I mean, Virginia gave you good producers, but maybe not like rappers. But California,
Got both.
Oh man, yeah.
Do they? It's Dre and Dre and.
Are you talking about just in general?
If it's Cali, okay, cool. Kendrick's place is cemented.
Dre, Snoop, NWA.
That's all Dre sound. That's all Dre sound.
You just said people. Are we just doing?
Nah, he's asking about producers from
Cali.
Cali.
Oh, you asked about producers.
Right. That's all Dre sound. That's
Hold on. What is? Oh, Mustard.
That's now. That's now.
Count? Does that not count?
It is, but it's Dre. Okay, so Dre and Mustard.
Wait, where's
versus
Alchemist from?
Alchemist is from. No wait.
Where's Alchemist?
Alchemist is from New York.
Oh, is he in New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
I presume so. I mean, okay, hold on. He doesn't get the props he should, but if you're talking Left Coast, DJ Muggs.
Also DJ Quick.
Yeah. So Mustard, Dre, DJ Quick. I forgot the dude's name. What's his name? The guy's name.
Yeah, because I'm like, Quick is, but that's a me thing. Quick is hit or miss. Quick got some bangers, but Quick also got some legit left coast joints that if you're not from the left coast is gonna be like, okay. But it's just because that's the thing with Dre make, we can't forget it, but that to me is what makes Dre the greatest producer ever. Apologies to DJ Premier. But you start with an NWA, and then you talk about the production on Get Rich or Die Trying, which also does not sound like the production on the Marshall Mathers or Eminem LP, which also does not sound like the production on Game's album. So love Primo, obviously, but Dre's production ability, it spans everything. To me, it starts with Dre, and then you go from there. Like my top 5 that are alive is probably I can't come with 5. It's Dre, Primo, RZA, Pete Rock, and I cannot decide on a 5th. It gets too hard. It gets too hard because I get it's dope, but even Kanye's production, it was never. He never had any hard beats. That's a me thing. But he never had any. He had bangers, but wasn't nothing hard. Like, give me a hard Kanye beat.
A banger and hard. Pause.
Easy. Shook Ones. That's a hard ass beat. That happens to be a banger.
Also, not great lyricist. Prodigy and Havoc.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
Prodigy, I stand on this. I've been saying this for 30 years.
I disagree.
Prodigy and Havoc are not great lyricists.
I disagree.
Havoc is absolutely not.
Prodigy is I'm sorry.
Nobody's like run that Prodigy verse back.
We sure
Sir,
was shook was down.
sir. So
Rest in peace. I'm just
after,
disrespecting it. I've been disrespecting the dead this whole episode. Rest in peace to Prodigy.
so
I'm sure he was a good person. We're just talking
sir,
about the bars.
after Inspect the Decks opening in Triumph, find me another single verse that goes harder than Shook One's Part Two. Like that. Yeah. Take these words home and think it through. Or then, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, that verse alone makes me
Right, come on.
I disagree with you on that one.
I do not think. I think Prodigy has always been overrated as a lyricist.
Wow.
I don't think he's the most lyricist, but he's definitely.
Who you putting? Who you putting Prodigy over? Let's just talk about New York. Let's just talk about New York. Who are you putting Prodigy over?
That's a lyricist?
You're talking about great New York MCs. We're talking about elite New York MCs. Who you putting Prodigy over?
See, okay, so we can't do it that way.
Prodigy's going over Jay.
But those are aliens, though. I got different tiers. Yeah,
we got to do the tiers. We got to do the tiers. So top of the top, that's just alien level, alien tier level. The level right beneath the alien tier is lyricist. The level beneath lyricist is just decent rapper. And then there's trash.
Yep,
right?
All that.
Right. What tier are we putting Prodigy?
That's a good question. Because he's already at the bottom for me. So where are you putting him?
Nah. He is not in the 6ix9ine mumble rap tier. No.
No. That's a lot. That's a lot. But at best he's
mid.
He's a rapper. He's a rapper.
Wow, so not even a lyricist tier. You're gonna put him in a good rapper tier.
I'm not putting him as a lyricist. Because when I think lyricist, if we're just talking about New York, if I'm thinking lyricist, we talking Jada, we talking Styles, man, Busta.
Busta's alien tier for sure. Busta's alien
tier. These are top tier elite lyricists. You know what I'm saying? Like Nas, even though I'm not even a huge Nas fan for real. I think not, but you can't ever say that Nas isn't this spectacular lyricist though.
He's an alien.
Because honestly, from a concept standpoint, the problem we're gonna bump into here is Nas's one mic and I Gave You Power pretty much wipes out 80% of the South. Just conceptually speaking.
Not how that works.
You want to talk about perspective rap, whatever you want to call it? I think that's.
Here's my thing. If we're going to say, and this to me bolsters my point, if we're going to say the quote unquote golden era is from say 92-ish when Wu dropped to 99 when South taking over, so on and so forth. Okay, cool, great. So from 99, just round numbers, we'll say 2000 to now. You've had a quarter century. Where's your Busta Rhymes? Where's your Sticky Fingers? Where's your MF Dooms?
Sticky Fingers.
Where are the people?
He's also trash.
I don't know what that is. But that's a funny name.
Onyx had like one song.
Sticky Fingers by himself is vastly underrated.
Yo, no, fam. This is you gassing up New York again. Like, this is no, sir.
He is New York boss.
No,
I didn't say
sir.
Fredro and Sun C, the other two dudes. And Fredro will probably want to fight me if you heard it. But Sticky Fingers is such a drastically underrated MC. But okay, let's take Sticky up here.
Hey, you ain't got a better MC than Feature T.I. Name one.
Are you serious? Feature T.I.
Feature T.I.
Like, where's your Busta? Where's your this? Where's your that? First, like, are we talking about that archetype? Where's your animated rapper? You gonna tell me there's no animated rappers from
enduring MCs? MF Doom's entire career is done in a Doom mask. Like, come on, and he got bars.
I mean, yeah, MF Doom is a legend. Yeah.
If you want to say like a fast time rapper from the South, I got JID or JID.
Yeah.
You want to say?
I thought he was left coast.
No, he's from Atlanta.
He's from Atlanta.
Oh, Okay.
That whole Spillage Village, that whole Spillage Village camp based out of Atlanta. So it's like JID and God man, it's like oh man, what's the rest of those cats?
I don't
It's
know.
like 12 of
Oh
them.
Jesus. Okay. This the South version of Wu Tang.
So
I
Toby,
mean, but
you got
listen,
Toby.
Dungeon Family was like South Wu Tang for real, for real. Like,
Oh, no
I
doubt. And
mean,
that was
Goody
my problem.
Mob and Outkast, Sleepy
Yeah,
Brown, like
It's
that
Electron
whole
just,
agree.
camp.
and here's where my issue comes. I was one of those. The South got something to say. Yeah, no, you don't. No, legitimately. Outkast changed the landscape. And then you followed up with Goody Mob. And then you got that Dungeon Family production, which was so goddamn soulful and beautiful. I'm like, you know what? My bad. This shit is dope. And then what happens? Trap and Jeezy
Man, no,
and
man, but
T.I.
what?
And I'm like, what are we doing?
We got Luda and Ti. We like, and then this wasn't always relegated to just Atlanta. Like Atlanta ended up becoming like this big like behemoth that was just like cranking out artists, good or bad, like all the time. But then like Texas was also giving us a great sound as well. Matter of fact, that soulful sound that Atlanta adopted, that Organized Noise had adopted, like that was the sound that honestly that UGK and 8 Ball and MJG were giving us early 90s before they broke, before they caught any real mainstream success. You know what I mean? And then you have Scarface and Ghetto Boys. Like the
Mhm.
South was gave us some stuff outside of just the organized noise camp.
I know. So I'm gonna let y'all in on a little story. I'm married now. Wasn't always married, right? So a buddy of mine I was supposed to go hang out with in Atlanta. Somehow we ended up getting on the topic of hip hop, and she was like, I'm about to go throw on some 8 Ball MJG, and I was like, they trash, right? So she got so pissed off that she legit canceled my visit. Said, you
Dang.
know what? But I'm like,
You deserve it.
listen, 8 Ball and MJG. My class example, I gave him a real listen. It's a posse cut on Jada's first album. Posse cut on Jada's first album. Um, and he got 8 Ball and MJG on there. And I'm like, and this is what y'all think is dope. Yo, 8 Ball and MJG is lame, dog.
But okay, fair enough. I'm not a fan of 8 Ball. I think MJG was always a better rapper between the two. But between the two, I always feel like MJG was the better rapper. But you're also over here gassing up Sticky Fingers, so we're not gonna like.
No, that is a group though. That Onyx
From
is a
all of New
group.
York. Y'all got some trash people. Trash. Trash. Every region has some trash rappers. Yes,
Hold on. We can't just say, hey, 5 boroughs versus everybody. We have to include New York, Philly, Jersey. Because if
okay.
we can count everything from VA to Texas,
You can. And they still stack up against you. If we just doing all heavy hitters from all history, they stack up against you. Because the South has a couple people in the top 10.
top
Dead
five.
or alive.
Top five. I'm on no exaggeration. I think I've listened to Please Don't Cry a good 15 times all the way through.
How are they so trash if they produce some of the best to ever do it? We need one.
Rhapsody. I listen to Please Don't Cry about 15, 20
So
times straight
wait.
through.
Rhapsody's the only one for the South that's in your top 10?
No, there's Rhapsody. The problem is gonna be catalog because I'm a huge JLX stan. Problem is you got one joint.
You have
You got
people
like one
over him.
project from him, and it's really like, and then
Right.
that project with him and it's pretty
Yeah.
much him and Jay-Z.
Yeah, it's a joint.
Right.
That's a joint album. That's not so.
Yeah.
But come on, bro. Exhibit A, B, and C, like it
I'm
is.
naming Jay. You got other all-time Southern rappers that are
Boy,
top.
okay,
So we
so here's
won't even
here's
put this
here's
on the north, right? What I mean, we just on New York. I'm sorry, but
Okay,
on the north, right? So we're talking about Pennsylvania, New York, and
Jersey,
Jersey,
tri-state area.
Okay.
and then is that pretty much it? I mean, did we get any decent rappers from anywhere else in that region or north of that or whatever?
I mean,
Where
of
rappers and nothing?
course,
Well,
hometown
Joyner.
team. You know I'm gonna say Griselda, obviously. You know
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna say Griselda.
upstate.
Because when you start again, they uphold the tradition of real spitting. Benny, Westside, Conway,
Is it or
prop.
is it just like a sound that you're used to? Is it just like a sound? It's sonically, it's just a sound that you're used to. The reason why Griselda's pretty good. I would never say that they're like top tier lyricists, but they are really good rappers. Like I mean, they really are. They're really really good. Um, but were they doing anything spectacular? Were they doing anything that Clips wasn't doing? Nah, not really. But they had that gritty New York sound that was missing for in hip hop for a while.
Should have stayed.
I mean, essentially, okay. So now we got to put a little more New York blasphemy.
Uh-oh.
I understand the high regard we all hold Jada in. The problem is subject matter is limited.
In Griselda, is it?
I was just about to say, and therein lies the issue with Griselda. They
Yeah.
are lyricists of the highest order. I can't put them on the alien tier because we don't have enough diversity of subject matter.
Yeah, they don't have enough content. And that's how I feel about Clips.
It's
It's
Diet
pushing
Clips. That's all it is. It's Diet Clips. What are we
Not
doing?
Diet Clips today. Dang. I wasn't gonna go that far.
No,
I like
really?
Griselda.
Hey, that's a good. Hey, diet is good for you sometimes.
I'm about to say, sir, I need to remind you where you were born. You have to go back there.
Do I? Hey, I was in the trenches when I was back then, so hey, we good. I got family. I was straight. But hey, I still got respect for Griselda. I still listen to Benny and all, even though his production is
Absolutely.
goofy
It's
sometimes.
just
But
it's great workout music. Like, oh my God. And like I said,
yeah.
Benny and Conway can actually spit. They real spitters from the mold.
Yeah.
Now, my Southern list, when you start talking spitters, in no particular, well, one particular order, Rhapsody is at the tippity top of that list. It's Rap, it's JLec, it's Luda, feature version of Ti. Toby and Wigway does not get nearly enough props.
Oh, this is
Like,
great
So
lyricist.
Cole, Wayne.
oh
Cole
God,
and
Cole
Wayne.
is
Like,
Cole is
we just
special.
forget Cole. I understand he dropped out, so we kind of look at him differently, but he's
I
still
don't
lyrically
no
probably
Cole is
second to
that
none.
dude. Wayne is
Cole
that
is great. And Wayne is that dude. Wayne is like the punchline king, was like the
Oh
punchline
yeah.
king of the 2000s.
He might be the greatest
uh,
punchline rapper ever, in my opinion.
if you listen to because I don't get it. Everyone loves a Millie, but I love 6 foot 7 foot way more. Like just from a bar perspective, it's like if you listen to all the double entendres and bars and 6 foot 7 foot, it's like, yeah, this is alien tier Wayne. This is alien tier. Like, come on, that dude's untouchable.
Listen to his mixtapes. You see where the
Yeah.
alien
The
tier
punch
comes.
the punchlines. Wayne's just so clever. He's just so clever with the punches.
Uh-huh.
So um but okay, so who else is coming out of the north? If we're talking about that regions, you know what I mean? Like because
Oh, see,
we're,
when we expanded to the entire tri-state area, see, now we talking to me, the greatest MC on planet Earth, who doesn't get nearly enough props,
Black Thought.
and that is
like that.
live from 215. That's right, Black Thought,
Yeah,
all day, every day.
I won't argue
The
that.
single greatest instance of lyricism ever recorded, the Black Thought Funk Flex freestyle. No one, I do mean no one, touches that.
Yeah, no. Black Thought
He's
is
alien. Yes,
yeah.
I agree. I'm not gonna argue that.
Is black
Yeah.
because now when you open it up, it's Black Thought. Now you got Redman. Now you got Meth. I'm still surprised. How dope is Meth? Meth is so dope that his whole actual solo album is pretty kind of mid, and that's being generous, and he's still respected as a crazy lyricist.
I mean, yeah, Meth is dope. I always felt like he was better with the group, with the duo, him and Red. Like as a solo artist, I always thought he was kind of eh.
Mhm. Yeah, the Tikal album was just like yeah. I forgot which order they all came in, but I'm like, you can't you can't drop to Cal behind Only Built for Cuban Links. Like, no, dog, you no, sir. That's just now. I'm one of the people. I do understand. That's another thing we don't talk about. Only Built for Cuban Links 1 and 2 are two back to back legit classics. It just they didn't get the commercial what's the name, but
Right.
I I I'm one of the few people that don't think all 19 Ghostface albums are classic.
Yeah. Sorry. I can only personally take Ghostface in doses when it comes to albums. I'm not a person who can just play a Ghostface album all the way through.
Just let it rock. No, I can't either. Like I got like yeah, coin flip. But I'm like, yeah, my southern list, like I said, Rhapsody the tip of the top. Because Rhapsody the tip of the top. And then of course you bring in Toby, you bring in um Luda, of course. Future TI is something special because when you want to track with Wayne and Jay and your verse is the standout, Swagger Like Us.
And he was on the track with Royce.
And yeah, that's saying something.
It
Black
stood out.
Savages, that's he didn't have the best verse though, but he was tired Royce.
Ah,
Sir,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
And so while we bringing up underrated folk, and we were just talking about Benny a little earlier, like the song is called Oprah and Gail, and it's Two Chains, Wayne, and Benny, and Two Chains is killing it.
Two Chains is interesting because it's that classic. He plays to the level of his competition. When you put him
Damn,
on
I
a
agree.
track with some straight aliens, he taps into his alien groove.
STI.
But when you I'm riding around, I'm getting it. Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's something. Two Chains is interesting because I've been a fan for a while, but I will say that like his earlier work is not great, but
No.
he's a person who's gotten better with each album.
It's the Rick Ross effect. Like
Oh,
like to his credit, it's every day I'm hustling. Like that Rick Ross was borderline ass. He's definitely put work on the pen game. Got murked by 50, but definitely put on work on the pen game. So you can see the progress. Jim Jones. It's been a long time since balling. Jim Jones can actually rap now.
yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
we got the Golden Pen Award, as I call it. As someone who loves New York rap, I've always thought Cam and Mace were just mid, like not lyricist tier, just really good rapper
The
tier.
blam blammer.
the Cam bars was hilarious.
Yo, early Cam, Killer Cam, right? Could rap.
Children in the
Whatever
Corn,
little,
yes.
whatever kind of groove he got into once he started wearing like the pink fur, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Horse and carriage.
Because after Pewter's Putin, I was like, nah, I'm done.
I just
Yeah, I
remember the
was.
trend people just rapping like him, but it's the funniest thing ever.
It's
Oh, it
hilarious,
is.
yo.
The Cam bars was hilarious, yo. That was the funniest thing ever. But yeah, the left coast, it again, and I'm speaking from an East Coast standpoint, it just got redundant and unrelatable until Kendrick. But
Ooh,
we
unrelatable to who?
speaking from an East Coast standpoint, we
So here's my argument. So here's my thing, and especially when people will be like, "Oh, New York, they set the standard." Oh, you know what I mean? Like it's got to sound like this. I, as a person who lived in Virginia, whose family is from like Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia, like I don't know. I don't know what it is to be on 125th by the bodega. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? I don't know what that is. Okay. But when they was talking, when Outkast and folk out of Texas was talking about, you know what I'm saying, like Cadillacs and 24-inch rims and candy paint, and I'm like, oh, them sound like every hood, dope boy and pastor that I know. So,
I mean, as a Buffalo dude, yeah, it was a different lore as well because I absorbed actual New York City through osmosis. But
mm,
once you go there, it makes a lot more sense. But the beauty of it was a Nas, was a Jay, making you feel like you in Marcy, you in Queensbridge, And then again, because of where I grew up at, going to college with a whole bunch of New York cats, yeah, it was all Timbs and first downs and bubble coats. So that all resonated. Crips and Bloods did not resonate at all. Right? When it is one of the, and then you go back and listen to it now, it is one of the funniest diss tracks in history. Tim Dog's Fuck Compton is just,
oh,
and he spoke from a Bronx nigga standpoint. So it's like, yeah, talk about colors, all that gang shit's for dumb motherfuckers. Because there was no gang culture in 92 in the Bronx. There were no Crips and Bloods. And that's what I mean. Like, West Coast at the time stopped being relatable to us. Like, we don't understand y'all really blasting cats over red and blue. This is what y'all doing.
yo, man, like boroughs won't fight in.
Right. That had Civil War. The reason why New York fell off realistically is because your Civil War.
See, no. See that narrative. You can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, the nature of hip hop is competitive, but y'all fell off because y'all was competing. You can't have it both
No,
ways,
it's not
No,
dog.
that.
I'm
Y'all was
saying
legit beefing.
boroughs won't beefing with each other at any point.
That's how it started.
They
The
probably beefing with each
KRS and
other
all that.
now.
What we doing?
New Yorkers come together when they have to be New York. Right? They go somewhere else and they gotta represent for all New York. New Yorkers come together. As soon as you get inside New York, there's no loyalty to the boroughs are all divided.
Yeah, that is true. I know this personally from having half parent that is from New York City, family in New York City, being in New York City. You in the Bronx? Say, where you from? Brooklyn. Out here, Brooklyn.
Right.
Queens.
Yes, it's universally accepted. The Bronx is the dirty borough. I don't know how that happened, but it's
Yeah,
universally
they call
accepted.
everybody from the
Bronx is the
Bronx.
grimiest.
They do. They do. They do.
Right? I'm like, what did the Bronx do? Bronx started hip hop. Come on, y'all. But yeah,
They were dirty. Not playing.
So
But
even though they're talking about, gang culture and Bloods and Crips, you know what I mean? Like warring or beefing within your own state isn't an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Like I you know I remember when, and this isn't gonna make sense to anybody who doesn't live in Virginia or who doesn't live in Richmond, but I remember when Churchill and Northside were beefing heavily, right? Mind you, they 7 minutes away from each other. But it was an all-out war throughout the 90s. You know what I mean?
like I
So
ain't even gotta
like,
drive. I can run over there.
yeah,
yo,
it's the same here.
you could legit, it was a legit 15-minute walk from one edge of Northside to the edge of Churchill.
I mean, it's the same here. West, East Baltimore. I mean, it's
At
everywhere.
least the space between East and West Baltimore.
It
Like,
still was beef. A big beef, especially in the
Yeah.
90s and 2000s. That's when body
oh no,
mark
doubt,
was.
but there's space
So
there. Like you can't run from East to West Baltimore. You're not gonna do that.
You don't got you just hop on the bus. You be right
but
there.
when NWA, when Kendrick, when Game, when Cube and 40 and them are talking about whether it's colors and police brutality and saying like LA police, and
You can
these are
relate
all
that.
things, even if we don't know the specifics because it's there in Compton or it's there in saying somewhere in LA or whatever, we understand we still understand the narrative, you know what I mean? Like we understand like what's happening, saying in the hood or what's happening amongst, saying black people who grow up in a particular type of area. You know what I mean? Like I think California did a pretty good job at letting us kind of know where they come from and making it relatable,
I agree.
even if they didn't have Timberlands and bodegas.
Nah.
I mean, oh, that's another one. Like, yeah, even on the East, even on the left coast, they got E40. Where is the unique, one of a kind, enduring Southern rapper? Where? I can name you five in New York. We have the left coast has E40. The left coast also has Sugar Free, who is pretty much the godfather of Snoop style. Who's the outside of CeeLo? I'm like, okay, CeeLo is kind of a one of one. Now he's problematic, obviously, but from a talent perspective, CeeLo is a one of one.
So Andre wasn't a one of
I'm about to
one.
say Three Stacks.
Wasn't a one of
Outkast
one.
is not a one-on-one. Like you preach all the time
Face
about how
wasn't a
special
one of
they
one.
sound.
Wait, who?
Scarface wasn't one of one.
Three Stacks is one-on-one. He knows it. Stop
Three
it.
Stacks is one of one. I
Okay.
will absolutely count, but Outkast is it's kind of outcasting than everyone else. That's the inherent issue. Like,
So that counts then. So you
Well,
kind
that's
of proved
not
your
true
point.
because we just talked about how there was like a billion MCs that come out of the South. Like we just talked. You mean are we just talking about just Atlanta, or are we talking about the South as a whole?
He said South.
South.
We just
Like-
talked about how there's like Rhapsody, who's in your top, saying top five, and
He not
Cole,
one-on-one?
and Rhapsody is definitely one of one.
Okay. Are you thinking about this? Who is her comparison?
Who is there? Who
My
is
problem is bar for bar, two names come up.
Who?
One is an OG, one is recent. One is gonna be Light, who is really the godmother of women flowing
MC
a certain way. Yes. Bro, Cha 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 slaps right now.
And who
Cha
else?
Cha Cha pretty much eliminates Sexy Red's entire catalog by
I
itself.
just need you to realize how far you had to go back to find this
Right.
comparison. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
The next name I don't have to go back far at all. That's gonna be Remy, and she is thorough.
Man. I mean, yeah, Remy is a dope rapper. If we, bar for bar, I'm still picking Rhapsody. One, just I think that as a lyricist, she's dope, but also Rhapsody's going to give you more
substance.
stuff. Like more
I
Rhapsody
agree.
give you different
I agree.
subject matters. Yeah.
Like I agree. Like Rhapsody, and it's just the God, the Eve Project to me is a perfect album. That is, you start
I
talking
agree.
5 mic albums, 5 mic projects. You have your Illmatic. God, Black Album is not flawless. That's
Go ahead, say your 444. You know you want to. Go ahead.
444. I mean, my problem is this. I like Black Album better than any J project. The inherent issue is you cannot. It has one glaring skip. Justify My Thug is ass. If you just would have left that out, you have a perfect J album.
My 5 mic project from Jay is Blueprint, but that's I know I may be in a minority with that.
No, it's that great argument to be made. I'm trying to think what's the skip on Blueprint.
For me, there is no skip, and like
the skip on Blueprint for me
there's
is
like singles off that one
nigga
album.
Yeah, the skip on Blueprint for me is that nigga Jigga. Like that would just no. No. Jigga, that nigga Jigga. No. Just no.
He is I and I is him. Man, come on, man. Nah, that song goes.
Skip. Now, because it's right before You Don't Know, it's like, okay, woof. You Don't Know brings us all back to center. But that nigga Jigga is just no. He fucking up my high.
Did you just not like party anthems? Like what?
No.
Does everything have to be like
yes,
gritty, like you know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
wife beaters and jeans and fucking bubble coats? Does everything have to be all the time?
Butters.
No,
Butters.
Party Up is a dope party anthem. Party Up is the shit, yo.
He likes Black Air Force Energy music. That's it.
Basically, it's got to be Black Air Force Energy all the time.
It might be Black Felines, to be honest with you, but go ahead.
Party Up. There you go. That's a party. If you really want to get shit hyped, now it might be a fight shortly thereafter, but people don't think of it as such. Throw on MOP's Annie Up.
Annie Up?
Oh, you throw
That's
on
not
Annie
a party anthem. That's a robber nigga anthem. What are we doing?
Literally, it's literally about it's literally about robbing somebody. It's come up off that. It's literally come up off that.
Gotta prove the point. Hey, It is a good hype anthem, but hey, you got bad intentions after it, though. I'm just saying, man.
Um, See, it's not really a party track. It's a hype trap. It's not a party track. I was gonna say woo ha, but that's not really a party track per se. But oh, um, Jay, give it to me. There you go.
You like Give It To Me, but you don't like that nigga Jigga? I kind of
Bruh,
put them in the same kind of, like the same kind of
no.
category.
Both the club I sing it off, kid up. No, 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 no. No, yeah. I can't. That nigga Jigga is just like, how did this make the cut? How
It
you
was
could
a
have
fun
left that off.
song. And it was good enough, and the production was so good, it ended up being a single. There's like 8 singles off that one album. That's unheard
It
of.
really, it really is. That is bananas. It really is. But I still like the Black Album more outside of that one skip, like Justify My Thug. But the story, the legend is that they couldn't get Madonna to actually agree, so they had to kind of do the interpolation. I'm like, dog, here's the
Right.
thing. Even if you got Madonna on it, it still would have been ass. Still would have been ass. Like, yeah, still would have been ass. But no, the Black Album, just starting off December 4th, running through, and then you got Threat, and oh God, allow me to reintroduce myself. Oh, Black Album to me is his best work. That's what I do it for. And 444 is just such a grown man rap album. Like you gotta, I think, tap the De La Soul to find grown man rap such as 444.
Really?
Because who talking about marriage and life and kids
Mr.
and real
Morale?
shit?
That's not grown man rap.
Okay. All right. Kendrick over there though, man. Like Kendrick over there though.
Yo.
We've got to. This is about to be an intervention. We've got to reconcile. We've got to reconcile that you just have a very, very New York bias, and
Yes.
not even just a very New York bias, a very specific sound out of New York, and
Thank
that
you.
is your qualifier for lyricism. Even though you're willing to concede that there are other lyricists from other areas.
I've been saying this for years. Thank you.
Right.
You are trapped in a certain sound, a certain decade, and a certain sound,
And a certain location. That's it.
and a certain location, a sound, certain sound, location, and style. You are like it's like right there. That little part of hip hop is like this is what real hip hop is. Everything's got to sound like this.
Yep.
Not even because I appreciate. Again, it took me a second, but one of my all-time favorite rap songs is Babylon. Um, off I do believe that's off AT Aliens. That
Oh,
is that
okay.
is such a beautiful. It is such an amazingly beautiful song. I still say the last verse, "I've never seen a man cry," is probably you're gonna have a really hard time finding 5 verses in rap history better than that.
Yeah.
That is how poignant that last verse, "Never seen a man cry," is. It is just yeah. So I completely recognize there's great, and that's what I'm looking for. Like, hey, here's the standard. Can you deviate from said standard and still be dope? And my inherent issue is, and Wayne spoke to it on God Did, which again, another example. You got two of the South Bests and the GOAT, and they got washed, absolutely washed.
I
Wayne
disagree. I
killed it.
think
Doesn't get
Wayne's
me
verse
wrong,
is probably just as good as Jay's, and he did it in a shorter amount of time.
sir, sir.
I think that Wayne verse is just as good as Jay's, and he was able to do it more concise.
I had to listen to God's Did again. I don't remember it.
Yeah, because we could have left Ross off the track. We really could have left
Yeah,
him
I
off.
mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
we just
And Rick Ross is not one of the South's best. Let's be very clear about
No.
that.
No. His production saves him a
Yeah,
lot.
he's got a good voice, and he's got good production.
Yep, that's what saves.
Yeah, he's not a great rapper.
Okay, so this is gonna sound like New York blasphemy. Rick Ross is pretty much the South's version of Guru.
I mean, yeah, Guru wasn't a great rapper. Guru just had a good voice and
Yeah,
good
good
production.
voice,
Yeah.
and he was very clear and concise. And it's the equivalent of having a '90s Dallas Cowboys offensive line, and you're a running back. Yo, anybody's gonna look good
All right, disrespect
behind.
Emmett. All right, chill out, man. Chill.
All right, but I say, why is Emmett catching
Right,
strays?
right. Disrespect Emmett. Like,
he
like
was
I get it. He's not buried, but he's still a legend.
That's
That's,
what I'm about to say. We
he's
know
a
he's not
Hall of
there.
Famer.
right, he's still a legend. What are you doing? I understand he didn't get touched till 5 yards down the field, but hey, he still broke tackles after that, though. He still has the record.
I mean, when you want to see a running back, do you throw on Barry highlights or Emmett?
No, I agree. I think Barry's the
Jerome
GOAT.
Bettis.
I think Barry's the
If
GOAT.
I want to see great running back highlights, I throw on Jerome Bettis, the bus. I want to see people get run over.
I
Oh,
put
I'm throwing
on some
on Bo.
Adrian
Like if we
Peterson
doing
was.
that, I'm throwing on Bo. Like, yeah, I'm throwing on the freaking nature Bo
Yeah.
all day.
Oh, you're not gonna do if you want to see somebody get ran over. What about Earl Campbell?
Oh,
I think
good
that's
point.
fine.
That is the most vicious running back I've ever seen in my life. And I wasn't even alive when he was doing it.
Yeah,
And I'm scared to die. Oh boy. Ain't a many football players I'm scared, but boy, Earl Campbell, I'm good. You got it.
yeah, that was. I was a running back fan. Definitely fan of the big backs. Kevin Mack, my favorite was Okoye. I was a Chiefs fan before it was fashionable when they still had Christian Okoye, and of course Joe Montana. But
Brandon Jacobs. I remember that.
oh God, yeah, I remember that. Oh, when they played Washington and he ran dude over, we thought he was dead.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Brandon Jacobs was 6'4", 260, and yeah, a
Yeah, I'm
wrecking
not.
ball with pads.
I'm
But anywho,
retired. Forget that. You got it.
back when I actually watched the NFL. We probably gotta wrap this up because we can have this going on forever. But yeah, the New York Standard unfortunately does not seem to have a lot of newer mainstream New York rappers to uphold it. Fabio Foreign is pretty drill trappish, like whatevs. Um, I mean, it's from a mainstream standpoint, but that and the thing is that was my thing though. Like you have the ability to see everything that New York did, and more importantly, everything New York did wrong. I will always salute the South because while y'all catches up here forming these labels and signing the Def Jam and all of that nonsense. No, the cats in the South was getting it out the trunk of the car. Master P said, I'm gonna do it myself. Shortly after the baby and them, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we're not here arguing Southern, innovation, right? We're talking lyricism. And since we brought up that No Limits camp, you were like, "Oh, where's your Busta Rhymes?" We did give you our Busta Rhymes, and that was Mystical, who was fantastic.
You thought I mean even the Grizzly. I'm sorry. Don't help me. Help the bear.
First of all, wait a minute. As funny as that freestyle is, that verse actually goes hard.
Help me. Help the bear.
Hilarious. It's hilarious, but it also goes hard.
Oh my god. He a legend just for that all alone. He a legend for that.
and see the problem, and this is what I always say, the problem we start having when we start talking about Southern hip hop is there are some bright spots, there are some very, very dark spots. Trap pretty much is ass. But even if we want to give Trap a pass, we gonna pretend like D4L didn't exist?
I mean,
Snap music,
so
Laffy Taffy, we gonna pretend that don't exist.
So
we're gonna ignore Mims.
That was one song.
Oh, look
From
at
one
this.
rapper. That was one song from one rapper. Wait. You said Mims or Nems?
No, Mims. This is why I'm
Okay,
hot.
cool.
This is
Okay,
why
cool.
I'm hot.
Yeah, that was ass. That was super ass.
Oh,
That was super ass.
dancing.
I thought you meant Gorilla Nems. I'm like, again, gimmicky, not really, just all the way leaning into Brooklyn, Coney Island swag, but he ain't no lyricist. So yeah.
Still New York rapper. So you have a lot of trash, especially now.
Do you
And back then.
do you know who Gorilla Nems is?
If you talking about that song, I do.
I say, yeah, I
Oh, that's
know.
Gorilla
Yeah.
Nems. Bing bong. Okay,
And if we're just talking about dark spots, literally the unfortunately the biggest name out of New York right now at this part, with as far as like mainstream rap is concerned, is Ice Spice.
That's not
Like,
good.
yeah. How are you?
Not good.
I'll take D4L. We gave y'all D4L snap. We gave y'all snap, the snap music. The little snap music trend was popping
But
for a
before
minute.
that, we can't just pretend crisscross didn't happen, my guy. We can't pretend biggity 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 back daddy. No, we can't. We just
Hilarious.
can't wipe that off the record, my guy. We we can't wipe that off
You
the
are
record.
lying to me if you were telling me you weren't listening to Criss Cross as a kid. You're lying. You're lying to me. You were lying to me if you're gonna tell me you did not have your pants on backwards and your jersey.
That shit never made it to New York, sir.
Oh no,
No,
the lies.
no. You
That
fuck.
song was everywhere,
It was, and cats in New York was laughing at it. Like, what is this nonsense? It was '92. We had DOS effects.
which is not
Chris
great.
Cross 92. We had DOS effects. We had EPMD, Headbanger. Cats is rocking the masks and Timbs. No, we were not rocking jerseys backward. It was 92. I remember it well. No. We had DOS effects
Criss Cross
matches.
was dope. Criss Cross was fun. It was fun music.
Just, oh God. Like that's the problem. The South is also home to some very whack trends, from the crisscrosses to the snap music to like what to sipping on scissor. Like what the fuck?
First of all,
Wait.
that's a classic. 3 6 Mafia and Project Pat ran the streets. Project Pat was in Richmond like every other weekend.
That's a scary thought. That
He was featuring everywhere. They had him at every club.
Funny.
Project Pat is the reason why I love Glorilla right now.
and yeah, dropped the whole song. Bok bok chicken head.
It still applies today. But yeah, it's great. Hey.
Like
party
this is
anthem.
what y'all was bigging up.
Party
This is what
anthem.
was bigging
Wait,
up.
wait, wait. Where did hip hop originate from? Party anthems. So they kept it to its core.
What? Wait, what'd you say?
Hip hop originated with party anthems, was it not? Is it
Chicken head is not a party song, sir.
Doesn't
It
matter.
is in Virginia. It was in Virginia. You couldn't go to no club without hearing 3 6 or Project Pat.
It was jiggy to hear people with it.
Like, come, and then it's the South. You don't know Nan? Really? You don't know Nan?
Okay. I'm gonna give you a pass because that's a cultural thing. Because when Nan came out, that song makes sense to me. but it's also language that gets used south of the Mason Dixon.
Okay, because I'm like, if Trina wasn't as fine as she was, it'd have got clowned a lot heavier. But it was Trina, so it's like, oh, okay.
Nah, I mean, honestly, we was fucking with Trick Daddy for a little bit. You know what I mean? But it was, you gotta understand that like certain things, like even with like when you're like, oh, Sticky Fingers is dope, right? I'm like, nah, Sticky Fingers is whack. But like it's a sound, right? That's very true to like the area. You know what I mean? So like it's not a sound or like it's not a sound that's gonna resonate with me because there's nobody out here who sounds like that, right? But when we heard Trick, when we heard You Don't Know Nan, like this is how Cass was talking in the streets. This was regular everyday language. You know what I'm saying? Like it was Southern African American vernacular, right? And so I think I think my biggest thing is there has to be space for understanding that hip hop as a genre, just like any other genre, is going to start to like mold from region to region culturally, right? Like as the genre expands, other slang is going to get introduced, other trends are going to get introduced, You know what I mean? Like, the Fushnikins, the way they was rapping, you know what I'm saying? Like had an effect on the culture. The way Das Effects was rapping, it was trendy for a minute until it died out, right?
One summer. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
But at the
honestly,
end of the
like
summer, we was done with Iggity and Wiggity.
by the time, you know what I mean, but it's no different than the West Coast being like for shizzle, you know what I'm saying, for sheezy, you know what I'm saying? Like that was their sound, that was their language at the time. You know what I mean? Like the South, we had our own kind of way of kind of speaking to each other, and that's of course is going to make its way into the music. And it doesn't
Yeah.
make it for me. It doesn't make it any less hip hop. It just shows you how it changes. You know what I mean?
For
Across
real.
the diaspora.
I mean, just something I was thinking about. You know who's probably at home punching the air right now? I think I put this on Facebook. Young Buck. Because granted, and I'm not from there, so I can't speak to it directly. I don't presume Cashville to be the same as Memphis, but the fact that you were one of the first to really get big in G Unit from Nashville and you next door to Memphis, you could have been at the front of the wave. That entire Memphis wave, that entire whole Tennessee wave, you could have been in front of. But yeah, well. So yeah, I think somewhere Young Buck is probably punching the air because it could have been him.
I mean, he had a good little run, but also by the time Young Buck came out, 3 6 Mafia was already selling out concert venues. Like, I mean, 3 6 Mafia was touring all through the South, Southeast. Like
Okay.
they were already a thing. Project Pat was a legend already by the time. I mean, Buck grew up probably listening to Project Pat.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like it's just so unhurt, but okay, that tracks. That
yeah.
tracks. Like somebody's talking about Luke. I'm like, yeah, I realize Luke can't rap, right? Like
Oh no,
at
Luke's
all.
a terrible rapper.
Like, at all. Like we don't even think Florida didn't even matter until every day of hustling. Like it's
But
Florida.
that Miami bass sound, like he compete they like Two Live Crew took that Miami bass sound. It was like just like almost kind of like what EDM is now, is just like kind of DJ party kind of
Oh,
party
love
stuff.
EDM. Yeah,
You know
love
what I mean?
EDM.
Like so like it was
Mhm.
that kind of sound, and they took it and they kind of gave it this kind of more hip hop kind of twist to it, and it completely changed the landscape in Florida.
Oh, and to back it up a little bit, now, guilty pleasure. Uh, you don't know Nan was straight ass to me, but shut up went hard. And it's probably just as simplistic.
It is. I mean, Trick Daddy wasn't gonna
But
give
shut up went hard.
yeah, he
Okay,
Trick wasn't gonna
listen.
give nothing to think about.
That was a
Uh-huh.
great song to listen to for a football game. I ain't gonna lie.
Exactly.
We definitely used to listen to that when we go into our game.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay,
What's
what's
up?
up? Shut up.
Shut up.
And that beat, ding, ding,
Dude.
ding, ding, ding.
And
Like
I
that,
went down, dude. Yo,
oh.
But we appreciate different rappers for different things. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't listen to Black Thought for the same reason I listen to Busta. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't
ooh.
listen to, what I mean? I don't listen to Nas for the same reason I listen to, what I'm saying, to Tribe. You know what I mean?
Oh,
This is
yeah,
completely
I
different
told you.
sounds.
Yeah, I definitely got my ignorant playlist. Like I got a whole playlist of nothing but 50 that I listen to in the gym. Because I
Um,
really can't listen to 50 outside of the gym. Like,
but it's just like that's the beauty in like how the culture shifts, you know what I'm saying, or how it expands, you know what I mean? Because it's like there are times where I need what Outkast gives me, right? But there's sometimes I need what Jeezy is gonna give me, you know what I mean? Because it's like it's a different type of energy, you know what I mean? And I don't want all my artists to sound the same, you know what I'm saying? I don't want every artist to sound like Common, you know what I mean? But I don't want every artist to sound like Glorilla either, you know what I'm saying?
well, I
Like,
get okay. So and we'll close it out this way because this might I don't know what's gonna take. Let's blackify it for a second. Because bold statement. I think there's an argument to be made at this point. Look, hip hop is 50. Hip hop is slightly older than I am. And I think we might be able to make a case that it is a fail. And what do I mean by a fail? Um, when I look at hip hop as a whole, I look at it as it was an amazing opportunity to do some great things and go to some great heights. But and again, I do not absolve myself because 11 and 13-year-old Ross, when Straight Outta Compton and Niggas for Life dropped, that was 88, 91. In between that, 89 was Fight the Power. And I'm like, I should have been on that wave, but young, black, and already having incidents with law enforcement, I was definitely way more fuck the police than Fight the Power. But at this point, again, love Benny and such from my hometown. But at this point, aren't we due for something more? Because I get what you're saying. You don't want to listen to just KRS-One or just Immortal Technique. But at this point, shouldn't we? Do we actually still need the hood tail? Like, respectfully, we don't need Glorilla anymore. We need more Rhapsody. We don't need more dumb shit. We need more things that we need to go back and streamline it. And yes, everything should probably be a KRS, a Rhapsody, something that gets it's 50 years old, dog. How many more niggas do we need to hear about? How many more bitches? How many more bricks can we sell? How many more whips?
A lot.
Dated.
It's I disagree only because I don't think you not every I'm not gonna I'm more so just kind of arguing for people's freedom to create art that they want to create, right? So it's like, because 50 Cent also made 50 Cent of all people made the comment about how like women in hip hop right now all sound the same and they all just talk about shaking ass and tricking and whatever. But like that's not true, right? If you listen to a Doechii album, if you listen to a Rhapsody album, that's not all that's happening, right?
Those two. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But if you listen to a Meg or if you listen to a Glow, then you know what I mean? Like that's more of what you're gonna get. But they all exist in the spectrum of hip hop. And I think that that's the beauty of the genre. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're not as critical about any other genre of music and how it does that as well, right? Like if you listen to country, there's a section of country where it's just all like cheating on your spouse songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, she shot me and my dog. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a section of country where that's pretty much all you getting. You know what I'm saying? There's a section of but nobody's like, oh man, we don't need any more cheating songs from country artists. Like nobody's
Because
saying it.
nothing else is as global or as powerful as hip hop.
I mean, you say that, but country is still the number one genre in the country. It has the widest demographic.
Because they have the
Country music.
widest population, mostly.
Well, country music has. I worked in radio, right? Country music has the widest demographic, right? When you're talking about like adult contemporary, you're talking about literally adults, white adults, mostly white men, 40 and up, right? If you're talking about hip hop, your demographic is black men 18 to 30, right? When you're talking about country music, it's literally they tell you 12 to 60. No gender, no nothing. They tell you 12 to 60. That's your demographic. And so, because country music has such a wide demographic, you would think they would have such a wide array of content, right? They don't. Like country music gets very muted into God bless America. I'm sorry I cheated on you. Here's my truck. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's circles.
And side note, real quick, and that is part of what makes what Beyonce's done even more amazing. Continue.
I mean, yeah, I mean, shouts out to B for kind of like pushing the boundaries on the genre. You know what I mean? Like I had my doubts about it until I heard the album. But in hip hop, we're super critical about what's the message here, and I actually think that it's like a product of whiteness, right? We're like, oh, we have to like diversify. We can't just all be telling these kind of stories. What are they gonna say about us, right? That's the lens that we're kind of coming through. It's almost rarely ever how we're gonna respond to each other because for a fact there's other hip hop out there, right? If you don't want to listen to Meg or Glow, there's a long list of other rappers that you can listen to, right? And so it's like we're not reduced to just listening to these same stories over and over and over again because there's so many different artists that we could be listening to. The radio doesn't run hip hop no more. I mean, nobody even really listens to the radio. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their Spotify, their Tidal, their Apple Music, and you can pick and choose whoever you want to listen to. My bad, Kane.
But I agree with both of you because I said that point when we had the argument that we need to get rid of hip hop, and I said it needs to stay because not everything is trash. You look for it. But to his point, he does, to his point, to a certain extent, what's being pushed, the mainstream, is trash. Outside of a few hits, like Doji's getting a push, Rhapsody's kinda, but not really. Kendrick's getting pushed, obviously. Cole getting pushed, but most of the people that, especially in female rap, hell, even men rap, it's trash. It's the same nigga shit, basically. And that's where my problem is. I think there is a spot for it. I'm not saying get rid of it completely because, like you said, freedom of expression and what you know, is what you know. But I think more artistry should be getting pushed as the main thing from either Spotify, streaming service, whatever, radio, whatever. Like people will real something really to say at this stage of our history and what's
But
going
are we
on
saying
today.
that because we just spent this? We spent a portion. Y'all spent a portion defending Mob Deep. We've been talking about
He did.
Griselda. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about Griselda and Mob
I
and
don't
Clips,
defend them.
and I'm like, these niggas ain't doing you nothing but telling you about the streets. That's
I said
literally their
that.
whole catalog, right? So it's like, oh yeah, we need less of this and more of this. But the people that we defended ain't even giving you that either.
I was saying from a bar standpoint, sorry, because from a bar standpoint, yeah. But from a topic standpoint, I agree. I've been saying that. I said, yeah, they dope, but they are diet clips. Like they're rapping about shit from the 80s and 90s. That's a bygone era. Still selling crack. But anyway,
It's
but yeah. Like I'm just saying we should push people with more of a message that should be more in the mainstream. The hood shit can still be there, but it should be on the back burner, not front page. Front
because
page is what's being pushed as the garbage outside of a few heads.
because
Like
the
most people,
problem is when it was happening in 86 through 90, whatever, that shit was happening. Now niggas be lying. You ain't never 6ix9ine. Case in point, your whole imagery is invented. Your whole shit is invented, bro. You not you. In the words of Hove, he's all right, but he's not real.
I mean, I
And,
think a
and
few things are happening here. When we're talking about hip hop from, 75 all the way up to like, mid 90s, hip hop is still coming from a very independent platform, a very independent space. And so people are able to kind of create the art they want to create the narratives they want to create. When you start getting labels involved, you start getting corporate people involved, right? The
bro.
the sound starts to shift, right? And then corporations are formulaic, right? If there's a sound, like you said, right, I should have been listening to more Public Enemy, but I was listening to niggas with an attitude, right? So now, if the sound scans is showing that, and the label heads is seeing that, then they're like, oh, there's a formula here, right? And they're gonna find out like what's formulaic about that, what's getting people's attention, and how do we start to create more of this? And I think that honestly, like, while I love NWA, I mean that's the beginning of the end when we talk about like
it
the
is
sound that you're talking about, right? That we should have been praising. But the problem with the argument is, and I guess it's a bit of a contradiction, is that that conscious sound, that ear to the streets, that we can do better sound has always still persisted and always still existed. You're
It
still
do.
gonna get your most defs, your Talib Kweli's, your Commons, your Rhapsodies, your what I'm saying, your Public Enemies. You're still gonna get that, right? Or you're gonna still get like a Nas and a J, right? That's gonna give you probably a little bit of both, what I mean, the more that you listen to their catalog, right? Or what I mean, like, or an Outcast, right? That's gonna give you, they're gonna drop some bars and drop some jewels, and give you the slick talking and give you the party anthems or whatever, right? So I think that's always gonna happen. Kendrick is the number one hip hop artist in the world right now, right? And
Mhm.
what I mean, so like, the idea that there's no longer like a message in the music that people have access to just isn't true when you still have mainstream names like a J. Cole or like a Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like I think that these things that are still happening.
Agree.
And music is at a point now where you can access what you want, and it's all algorithms, right? So if this kid is listening to Kendrick, that algorithm is gonna start showing him more artists like Kendrick, more artists like Cole, more artists, what I mean, within that genre. But if he's not, then he's gonna start to kind of drift away, and he's gonna listen to more trap and more drill or whatever.
It's just you have the ability to, and I guess this is on a very basic premise. I had to explain this to my brother once because he raps. You have the ability to make whatever you absolutely want, right? I guess my question is just on a real base level. If I said, listen, I'm going to hand you this microphone and you have an audience of upwards of 100 million people, I need you to say something. If the first thing out your mouth is, I bust guns, I sell drugs, I need a chain, can you say it? You absolutely can. But at this point, as black folks and brown folks facing what we faced in 50 years of history, you mean to tell me if I give you this platform, that's the first thing you got to say?
For somebody, yeah, somebody is definitely going to say, yeah, this is what I have to say. And whether it's because they've been influenced by the music they grew up on or the lifestyle they lived, it's gonna, you know, what I mean, that's what they have. And then you're gonna hand the mic to somebody else, and they're gonna say something completely different.
Because and I guess this and this is just me being having the insight of a 40 soon to be 48-year-old person. It's like we've heard it all. We got it. One of the realest songs that probably I won't say should have shifted the tide, but one of the and Ice from the Joe Budden podcast says all the time. You go back to listen to "What's Your Life Like" by Beanie Siegel. If that don't give you concerns about getting locked up, I don't know what will. And it's just it's almost to the point it's a tired trope. We got it. I grew up poor. Dad wasn't around. I sold drugs. I bust guns. Rinse and repeat. And I'm like, come on, man. We at this point, 50 years in, still, that's what we got.
I just don't like.
Now, Rhapsody here, and I gotta balance this out with this same old tired 88 trope. Like it,
It's free.
it
It's freedom of expression. I'm cool with. I'm fine with it still being there to a certain extent, but I think now with the state of the country and hell, even the world, and just our community in general, the people that should be getting pushed the most should be someone with something. And I think Kendrick and Cole are actually starting that shift. Now we're starting to see a shift a little bit that people who are artists first and have what's longevity to them. Like I forget the word, but it's not just something that's hot now and then 5 months later you're not going to care
yeah,
about
it's
it.
not
It's
microwave music.
ageless music, timeless music. I think it's being pushed now because Kendrick and now people are starting. I guess after demolishing Drake, people are starting to look into his catalog and like, okay, all his albums have substance that I can still listen to now, even though those came out 10 years ago, whatever. So now more people like Doechii, Rhapsody, I think will probably get the push now more because of Doechii. People with substance, real artistry. Tyler the Creator, even if people don't listen to him, he's got great artistry, and none of his albums sound the same. You go back to Goblin to now, the evolution is crazy. So I think real artists are being pushed again. It's just I wanted to stay that way because before this, I guess you could say revolution, whatever, or civil war of hip hop between the party and trap or whatever, the mainstream pop rap. Shout out to Drake, psych. Now with people with substance. So yeah, I think we are seeing the shift, and Kendrick is pushing it along with all the others. But I just hope it continues that way because before it was just trash being pushed, and then you had to search for the good stuff, the diamond in the rough and stuff. And I don't like that part, especially 50 years down the line. It should be the opposite, and then you have to search for trash. So if you listen to trash, like you said, the algorithm, all right, cool. But the algorithm is still pushing the trash. You still gonna see Glorilla everywhere. Meg can rap, but topic still trash. Uh, the drill rappers, 5 year all that still trash, but they're getting pushed. But yeah, I'm just hoping the hip hop revolution is leaning towards just artistry. It doesn't even if the subject is still the same nigga shit. If you do it in a way that you can actually teach something and maybe you reflecting and then you move on, I'm good with that. But if it's the same shit like Griselda, and I love them, they can rap. It's useless. It's not helping the culture. You're not pushing nothing. You're just recycling, like you said, the same stuff. History is repeating itself, and our culture needs to evolve because the world is evolving. We're about to get iced out. So I think we need progressing in our culture, in our people. And that's why I think real artistry and real people with something to say will push not just hip hop, but our culture in general. That's how.
I can't argue with that.
Well,
Fine, a little long with it. Sorry.
no, I mean, if no one else got anything to contribute, I think we can end this here. This was awesome to talk about. But sir, Roscoe, what's you want to close it out or you good?
Nah, man, this is a good conversation, man. I hope in the future you will keep a more objective lens
He won't.
around these hip hop conversations, especially now we can use this episode as evidence that you understand that there are other lyricists and talented folk out of different regions and not just a small handful.
He's not. I've been telling him this for years. This is like the 5,000th time we had this conversation. So yeah.
Oh, no, I totally get it. Like I said, I always say the standard is the standard, but I'm open to differences in that standard as long as it's dope. Like again, I think Toby and Wigwe is a classic example of it. Toby's a 101. You haven't seen anything like him before that, and you can't duplicate what he does. Like New York had ODB. I'm not saying Toby is ODB, but from a standpoint of you can't duplicate what Toby's done. And he happened and he would pass the bar exam. Toby got bars.
All right, let's see if you really mean this. Is the South still trash?
No, I didn't. I didn't answer.
See,
Look at
that's
his
what
face.
I'm talking about.
He
That's the
glitched.
real question he trying to duck, bro. Is the South still trash? Yes or no? This will let me know if you learned your lesson or not. He can't answer me.
I remember. I, I just gave major props, yo. What
Are
you
they
talking
trash?
about?
It's yes or no. Is the South still trash? This is why this whole argument started or discussion started.
No, they're not still completely trash.
I'll, t- I'll take whatever I can get. He still had to kind of like try to switch it. He had to change the phrasing around a little bit. He just
Said not complete trash. Okay, so still
right.
trash. This is not complete. All right. Okay.
No. Like I said, there are artists I absolutely enjoy from the South. And again, if when YouTube gives me my playback at the end of the year, like all streaming services do, I'm fairly sure Rhapsody will be at the top of that list. I can say definitively that is the one. That is the only thing that's even close. I've ran that Dochi back a few times, but when I just need to throw something on, it's been Rhapsody. Please don't cry every time, ever since it's dropped.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful start to like it is. It is everything. It is lyrical. It is personal. It is a testament to mental health. It is complicated relationships. It's
Mhm.
family. It's honoring your elders, honoring the ancestors. Like, please don't cry. I can safely sit that next to Illmatic and not hesitate.
Right.
Like it's Illmatic. It's Philadelphia Half-Life and Please Don't Cry. And a lot of people don't understand the beautiful piece of mastery that Philadelphia Half-Life is. Like
That's better than it was written.
Philadelphia Half-Life, yes,
No, I'm talking about
absolutely,
Rhapsody.
yes, absolutely. It's yes, absolutely. Please Don't Cry is such a beautiful project, and yeah, because I'm on the Illmatic side of Illmatic. It was written argument. Like I don't. Shout out to Jacob, Black Chakra, because he's the first human I know that actually brought that argument to the forefront. The Illmatic words it was written. I'm like, this is not even a conversation. It is a conversation.
It's a conversation to me, and I might honestly be leaning towards it was written. But
See, the problem you're gonna have here is brevity. Illmatic is so perfect because it is literally 10 tracks and one of them is an intro. And it might be one of those you had to be there because Illmatic changed the soundscape. That was the first joint to use multiple producers. Then you factor in Nas is what, 19? There's there's nothing before or after Illmatic like it. And it is just perfect. No features. One feature and it is legendary. That is AZ in Life's a Bitch. So yeah, the case leans towards Illmatic ever so slightly because you did more with less.
I'm not mad at it.
And then Illadelph Half-Life, that's taking bits of Tribe and jazz and the Illadelph Half-Life to me is still the Roots' greatest work, top to bottom. A lot of people get on the Roots train until Things Fall Apart and Erica, but hip hop diehards, Illadelph Half-Life, top to bottom. There's nothing else. If you don't believe me, go check the What They Do video with subtitles. It is still relevant to this moment. That is still one of the best Roots songs ever, but best videos ever, What They Do. And then, yeah, I am very comfy putting Please Don't Cry right there next to those two. Top to bottom. Putting Please Don't Cry right there. So there's that. There's that. And like, I forgot where I started with that point, but yeah, the South absolutely, in Rhapsody at least, has something that is just everything you want in hip hop, everything we think it is, it should be, it's in that album. It is in that project.
I'm not even gonna ask the question because I'm gonna say outside of 5 people, is the South good?
We've named like 12 people.
He can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm getting out.
I was gonna
He
say
can't do it. He can't do
the
it.
problem we have here is what Kane mentioned. It's who's the light shining on. And sadly, right now, the stage is the South. It's between Memphis and Atlanta. And we got to cherry pick through the shit to find the gold nuggets. Because, like Kane said, the sad reality is what's being pushed. And overall, what's being pushed, no.
Mind you, there are no nuggets at all coming out of New York, Pennsylvania, or Jersey.
None.
Not one.
You ain't got nothing.
It's that like I said, Rakim just dropped the project.
Oh
my God. So Killer Mike just won a Grammy.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. The Mike album is amazing. The Michael album is amazing. I totally forgot.
Killer Mike. Yeah, I don't know how we forgot about that.
Killer Mike and then RTJ. The RTJ projects widely slept on, but the RTJ projects are amazing as well. Yes, I forgot about the Michael album. Yeah. That again.
But that's half New York too, so you got half of that.
Yes, you do. And I didn't know who LP was until Run the Jewels.
Oh, he's a legendary producer.
So he really is.
There you go.
Really is. And shit, if we really want to do it, I've heard a few Paul Wall verses recently, like, oh shit, Paul Wall.
Paul Wall can really rap. Paul Wall can really rap.
That surprised me too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, Paul Wall can since we ain't still tipping on fofos, Paul Wall got some bars.
That beat was hard.
But that's the culture of Texas. That tipping on fofos is the culture of Texas, and you got to respect that. Like hip hop has multitudes. You know what I mean? Like that's a part of the culture, hip hop culture. There.
Listen, that on the wall.
Yo, still tipping and chuck up the deuce. That was my shit. That beat. Oh my God, that beat went hard. Oh, that beat went hard.
It did.
I chuck up the deuce for the South for the North. Like, okay, you got me.
Yeah. That chopping the screwed. Shouts out to rest in peace to DJ Screw. That chopping the screwed sound was fantastic.
I like some of that, not all.
Like
not all of it, but it was dope.
Yeah.
You
and it was different.
You had to be on scissor to truly appreciate it, because I'm like, why? There is already a stigma of the South being slow. Why would you reinforce it?
See, now we just get him back to this, and see, he can't accept it.
No, I'm just. Okay, all right. All right. I just
It's all
why
right.
would you slow it down more? Why would you slow it down more? That doesn't help your case. It doesn't help your case.
So the culture of like candy painted cars, Cadillacs, box Chevys, Caprices, that whole thing, right? When you going out and you're riding around, you're really just going out there to be seen, right? Like in Richmond, it was Bird Park. For you would see like rows of like box Chevys, Caprices, old schools, Cadillacs, that kind of thing, Buicks, Crown Vics, like all kind of lined up and out in the parking lots, right? And so, or you would see cats like riding by, and I think Ludacris had to jump. Oh no, it was it was a nod to Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff when it was like 2 miles per hour, so everybody sees you, right? And they chopped that up, and so but it was very real. Like you wanted your car to be seen. You probably had a system in the trunk that was trying to
And some
bang loud,
spinners.
banging louder than everybody. You had to have the biggest, saying the biggest speakers, biggest rims, and you literally are just kind of riding slow. And so that whole kind of like slowing all the music down, coming out the trunk, it was that was the music, that was the sound. Like that's the
Okay.
sound that you wanted coming out of your trunk.
Because I'm like, what? Like, why would you slow it down? Okay. Like they
And
actually
yeah, I
made
mean you
chopped and
are right
screwed
though. Like
versions of all the
it
songs.
came, from lean was real heavy in Texas.
Mhm.
DJ Screw, what I mean, like, they was all lean heads. And, he would describe that sound like that he would describe that high as everything being like slowed down. Like that's how it felt.
Okay.
And so they found a way to
Okay.
recreate that in the
Okay.
studio.
Okay. Because and see, I'm a history guy, so I appreciate that. Okay, I got you. Because Manny Fresh's production, I didn't understand where that came from, but that's New Orleans bounce music. That's New Orleans bounce
Hmm.
culture. It's like the second line, like, okay, I got you. Now it's like, all right, I get it. I can see the history and it makes sense now. Okay, I got
Like
you.
New York with the boom back.
I just it ain't boom bap,
That's
but
not what I'm
okay.
saying, but everybody has their own, you know.
Yeah, man, the culture shifts. You know what I mean?
It does. It does. It's not always a good shift, but it definitely shifts.
Yo, these backhanded compliments is
You guys
crazy.
the worst. All right, I'm,
Can
I'm gonna go.
you just give a regular compliment?
I have. I've told you.
You
Please
said
don't
it's not
cry is in
completely
top.
trash.
Please don't cry is in my top five all time,
One
probably
person.
top three.
One person. You can't get. I
Right.
said the
You talk
whole.
about Rhapsody as an outlier as opposed
Right.
to being part of a culture of Southern hip hop, which is what she is. She is a culture of she's a part of the culture of Southern hip hop, not an outlier out that exists separate of.
Nah, he's gonna have a backhand compliment or something. That's the best we gonna get. Not
Like
complete
I said,
trash. Quarter of the
little
day.
little little brother, little brother's the minstrel show is an amazing project. Like there's these great balls of light in a dark sky. That's like, yo, you can't miss this. This right here, big ball of light, big ball of light, boom.
And it's dark over in the north right now. It's winter every year. Yeah, right. We need some light. Oh, Jesus, somebody.
And on that note,
Listen, y'all got Ice Spice. She just dropped a new single, so
no, there is no we got I no.
y'all got Ice Spice. You better claim it. You better claim her. That's your space. That's your region. That's your
Oh
area.
God. Yeah, that's
Where's
giant
Lotto
Meg
from
too.
again?
Where's who from?
Lotto. Where's Lotto from?
South ATL.
ATL.
You gotta claim her. Look at that.
Nah, Big Mama. That's ATL.
She can rap too. But
Hey, Leah, Lotto can rap.
Lotto can rap. I will
Lotto
give
can
you that.
rap.
Lotto can rap.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Ice Spice. There you go.
wait. God, I forgot her freaking name, but she is all New York. Cause she is dope.
I know what you're talking about. Um,
Miss London, Lady London. Miss London, Lady London.
I thought she was
Bingo.
the other one. Uh,
Wait, there's more. But yeah,
Jean
Lady
Grey.
London.
I thought you were talking about Jean Grey. Is she from New York?
Oh, dude, of course. That come on now. That's up there. Of course, Jean Grey. But Lady London is bananas. Thank you. Yeah,
I've never
Lady
heard of Lady
London.
London, so I
But
have to
not
go look it up.
mainstream, buddy.
I will send you some. You will be yeah.
Okay.
You'll be impressed.
Yeah, Jean Grey.
But okay.
Like, geez,
But yeah, Jean Grey, of course. Jean, come on now, Jean Grey. I forgot Jean because again, she's not mainstream, but she big nice, big nice. Like before Rhapsody, there was Jean Grey on a bar for bar point, big nice. But okay, it is late.
It's not as talented as Jean Grey. So
We all gotta get up this morning.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
wow. That's a debate, but I appreciate having the forum. I've modified my perspective. I understand. Like I said, I
I'll
never
take a
said
modifier. I'll take it. I'll take modifier.
I never said it wasn't spitters in the South. My problem is the scales don't balance.
You said the South is trash. What does that mean?
Okay, hold on. Let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. I've always said there is at least a good 8 to 10 spitters in the South for show. For show. Problem is it is outweighed by everything in Memphis and the futures in Atlanta. So yeah.
But we've also established that New York has no future because they have no rappers.
8 million people, you still can't spit.
You know, that was a hello double entendre, and I can't even. Okay, I gotta eat that. Okay,
So now I'm going to New York is trash now. I'm going that route.
Hey.
Now we going north. North is trash.
Trash.
Y'all ain't got no rappers.
Trash.
Y'all ain't got no MCs. Y'all ain't had no MCs
hit
since
in the last 20 years is Nicki Minaj. Trash.
I just gave you Lady London. There's more. There's more.
Not you cherry picking.
Yeah, he cherry picking. That beam of light is getting smaller.
Okay, we will conclude because we were not going to have this devolve into New York slander. That is what we But all that aside, I got nothing else. This was a ball. I do appreciate it. And again, as I've always said, look, if you dope, you dope. If you dope, you dope. My measurement is one thing, but if you dope, you dope. There's no denying certain cats at all. Like I said, when my playlist comes back at the end of the year, I am fairly sure Please Don't Cry is going to be the number one thing I listen to all year. So if you dope, you dope. But before we close it out, any final parting comments?
Follow me on all social media at Roscoe Burnems. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were in the DMV area or was it RVA?
Yeah, RVA that's the city. Yeah.
If you're in the RVA area, please check out my man's awesome human, dope father, amazing poet, and a hell of a hooper.
I used to get down a little bit, man. I ain't touched the basketball in some years now.
I ain't touched the ball in about a year, so it's wow. Okay, but to that end, on behalf of myself, my amazing co-host, and my awesome guest, always welcome back. Whenever you want to, man. It was great to have you. The Gear I Set Up podcast. Peace.
Yeah.